In a world where the sound never stops, where notifications, deadlines, conversations, and endless responsibilities fill every corner of the mind, it can feel almost impossible to hear anything beyond the noise. Yet hidden inside the stillness lies a voice that is not loud, not demanding, not competing with the chaos, but gentle, steady, and unshaken. A voice that has always been there, waiting to guide, to comfort, and to bring clarity. But most of us are too busy to notice, and so we chase answers in the crowd, run after approval in the marketplace, scroll endlessly for wisdom that never satisfies, and lie down at night with restless hearts that still whisper, "There must be more than this," because the truth is, there is more. But the more we crave is not found in the noise. It is found in learning how to hear the hidden voice of God, the same voice that spoke in Genesis and created light, the same voice that spoke on the mountain to Moses, the same voice that whispered to Elijah. Not in the earthquake or fire, but in a still small whisper, reminding us that God's leading is not always in the spectacular, but often in the quiet moments we ignore. And yet, how do you find stillness in a generation that glorifies busyness? How do you hear God when your mind is scattered? How do you know His voice when so many other voices are louder, pulling, demanding, and deceiving? For Jesus Himself warned in John 10 verse 27, "My sheep listen to my voice, I know them, and they follow me." Meaning if we cannot discern His voice, we risk following strangers, we risk walking into traps, we risk living a life that looks good on the outside but is empty on the inside. So the real question becomes not whether God is speaking, but whether we are still enough to hear Him. And so maybe the restlessness in your heart, the confusion about your next step, the anxiety you feel when you lay down at night, is not because God is silent, but because the volume of the world is louder than the whisper of His Spirit. And the only way to change that is to practice stillness, to create sacred pauses in the middle of your noise, to lean in when everything else tells you to run, and to realize that God's direction rarely comes when you're rushing, but often when you are waiting, listening, surrendered. Perhaps this is why the psalmist cried out in Psalm 46 verse 10, "Be still, and know that I am God." Because stillness is the posture that unlocks clarity, and when you truly become still before Him, you begin to see that His voice is not hidden because He wants to confuse you. It is hidden because He wants to draw you closer, to pull you out of the crowd, to teach you intimacy over information, relationship over routine, and His presence over pressure. And if you can quiet the noise of your own fears, silence the lies of comparison, and turn down the volume of the culture, you will hear Him, not in thunder, not in lightning, but in that gentle whisper that says, "This is the way, walk in it." And suddenly confusion breaks, clarity comes, direction flows, and peace anchors your soul. But here is the truth. This does not happen by accident. You cannot stumble into hearing God. You must choose it. You must make space for it. You must value His voice above every other voice, because what you value is what you will give attention to. And if you give God the same attention you give your phone, your meetings, your worries, your ambitions, your relationships, you will begin to realize His voice was never missing. It was only hidden under layers of distraction. And today, maybe God is reminding you that what you need is not another plan, not another opinion, not another motivational word, but His word, His whisper, His direction, His presence. Because when you learn to hear Him in the noise, you unlock peace that passes understanding. You walk with confidence even in uncertainty. You live with clarity even when circumstances are confusing. And you carry an anchor that the storms of life cannot shake. Because the voice of the shepherd never fails, never misleads, never confuses. It only guides to truth, to life, and to destiny. And so the invitation today is simple yet radical. Will you slow down? Will you quiet the noise? Will you step into stillness long enough to recognize His whisper? Because your life's direction depends on it. Your peace depends on it. Your future depends on it. And if you will dare to make room, to choose quiet over chaos, to choose prayer over panic, to choose His word over the world, you will discover the hidden voice was there all along, waiting to lead you into alignment with God's perfect will. And as you hear this message today, let it be more than words. Let it be the start of a decision. Because if this has impacted you in any way, I invite you to subscribe to this channel so you never miss these spirit-filled moments of truth. Like and comment to share your reflections. And above all, share this video with someone who is lost in the noise and needs to rediscover the hidden voice of God for their life.